Living Eugene. Today's meditation I'm going to set up slightly different because I've been spending the last 2 years thinking about how we can put our theory into practice. So I'm going to invite you to participate in this meditation slightly different than normal. And I'm going to let you know what we're doing so that nothing comes as a surprise. And it's always an invitation. You never have to do any more or any less than what feels compassionate for yourself. And so what we're going to do is we're going to begin by finding peace within ourselves. Then I'm going to intentionally bring ideas that might cause discomfort, to notice how we can hold peace and discomfort at the same time, because I feel like that's what we're being called to do right now, applying. It's not enough to just talk about peace, but how do we show up as peace? And I'll give an example. Today on Facebook, I was flipping through my thread, and there was this monk. He was sitting on the floor meditating, and there were 5 baby kittens jumping all over him and all around him, and he was maintaining his peace and his center among the activity, among the noise, among the chaos. Fill it in with whatever the discomfort, the anger, the conflict. So that's what I want to do with us today is find our peace, bring in just a little bit of discomfort, but we'll also end with the loving kindness meditation. So I won't leave you in discomfort. So again, it's all an invitation. So participate to whatever extent feels comfortable. And with that,
did you bring the kittens?
I didn't bring the kittens. I don't have any. Next time I'll plan ahead. So with that, I invite everyone to go ahead and begin to notice your breathing. I'm going to invite you to do that in a way that feels comfortable for you. Acknowledging that each one of us has a way to center ourselves and honoring the variety. And as you begin to notice your breathing, notice, is it high up in your chest? Is it down in your center? And as you begin to notice, I invite you to try and bring your breath down just below your belly button. Again, this is an invitation, if you're able to do this in a compassionate way without forcing it. One way that might help is to put your hands right there below your belly button and see if you can breathe into that space. Finding your center. When we are able to find our center, we can also find peace. If we're up in our head, if we're outside of our bodies, is when we can get ourselves in trouble. So noticing this place, breathing into it, and I invite you to bring into your awareness ideas of peace. What do you imagine when you think of peace? And bring that idea to life. What does it look like? What does it sound like? And notice how your body feels right now as you're creating this energy of peace. As you are bringing intentional awareness to the sensation of peace. I'm going to just take a couple moments to just really breathe into this and allow this feeling to magnify. Because it's easy to be at peace when everything is going how we want. It's easy to be at peace when everything is still and quiet. But how do we bring this same sensation of peace when there's noise? When there's an idea or an event that brings us discomfort? So I invite you to gently bring into your awareness a situation or an idea that brings you discomfort. Maybe it's an argument with a family member, a coworker. Maybe it's conversations about when to wear masks and when not to. Maybe it's thinking about politics. No matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, maybe the simple idea of thinking about the political landscape can bring discomfort. And I invite you just to bring this into your awareness only to the degree that it feels compassionate, no more, no less. And spend just a moment noticing, how does the body feel when you bring this idea into your awareness? And now I invite you to gently bring in that sensation of peace that you began with. Bringing that awareness back. And what does that feel like to shift from the discomfort to the peace? And maybe it would even be worthwhile in your seat to kind of just shift from left to right, right to left, and feel discomfort, peace. What does that feel like to move between the two? As I mentioned at the beginning, I believe that that is what we are being called to do, to learn how to be with the discomfort and move to peace. So now returning solely to the peace, releasing the discomfort. Again, allowing that sensation to magnify and just settle in. What does it feel like to be at peace? Really pay attention. Allow it to sink into your cells, into your body. For the next moment that you feel discomfort, if you can remember what peace feels like, you might be able to breathe into it and bring your peace to any situation. Breathing into that. And now I'm going to share with you the loving kindness meditation. And I'm going to ask you just repeat in your own mind. May I be safe and protected. May I be peaceful. May I live at ease and with kindness. And now shifting our awareness to someone close to us. Bringing them into our awareness. May you be safe and protected. May you be peaceful. May you live at ease and with kindness. And finally, if it feels compassionate, bringing anyone who you consider to be your other, anyone who has caused hurt or irritation. And if that feels too much today, just return this loving kindness to yourself. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings live at ease and with kindness. And I invite you to take one more nice, deep, cleansing breath. And again, in a way that feels compassionate to your body, releasing, gently bringing your awareness back into this space. I always like to stretch, maybe yawn, move my body. I often roll my shoulders. But again, listen to your body. What is it asking for? And do something kind and compassionate. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste. Thank you. Have we stopped there?
That's all we need, right? So if you turn to your neighbor and greet them, and if you see a newcomer, please feel free to give them lots of love.
All right.
And now we'll return to your seats. We'll start our second song. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know you are. Be still and know that you are God. Sing it to your neighbor. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know. And now, if you'll please silence your cell phones or any other devices you have, turn the washing machine off, and let's get started. Thank you for coming to celebrate Sunday with us.
Hello, good morning and welcome. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Eugene. My name is Donu Green. I'm a member of the board here, and I also spearhead our Next Gen group here. And that's and for anyone who doesn't know, Next Gen is our 18 to 35 range. So anyone in that age range, please come meet me and talk to me. I'd love to work with you. So I want to invite anyone who's here for their first time or anyone that has been an existing member and needs to update their info. We have a green sheet out here in the foyer. Please get your info on there. You can get on our email list and you'll get our weekly newsletter. I highly recommend doing that. Mostly anything you could ever need to know about what's going on is in our newsletter and on our website. So please check that out. So here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we are here inspiring minds, opening hearts, and empowering lives through our teaching, The Science of Mind, because we know that spiritually empowered people live richer, fuller lives. And I'm going to share with you all our weekly global vision for our weekly global vision for Centers for Spiritual Living. So we envision a world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. And I would like to introduce our practitioner of the day, Angela Alcantar.
Sitting right here, right?
All right, and if you would all join me, we're gonna sing Right Here, Right Now.
Right here, right now, we have come into the presence of God, and our hearts are open to all that's right here, right here, right now. We have come into the presence of God, and our hearts are open to all that's right here.
All right, so again, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my word to affirm today's experience. So I invite you all just to close your eyes or have a gentle gaze. Taking a moment to affirm and acknowledge the infinite intelligence of the universe, knowing it as creative, as expansive, in through and as absolutely everything. So in through and as each one here today, those who are not here, again, absolutely everything in existence. And from a place of gratitude, I give thanks for the opportunity to be here this morning to hear the message, knowing that I hear exactly what I need to hear, and taking the wisdom, taking the knowledge and the philosophy out into the world to lead by example, to be a living, breathing expression of the one. I give thanks for the sound team, for the musicians, for each individual who has made today possible. I give thanks in advance for the message that Reverend Linda will share. And again, just deep gratitude to be able to be here today in community, especially after such a long time of not being together in physical body. So in gratitude for this and more, I release my word knowing that it's good, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Angela. I'd like to share with you our monthly theme with Centers for Spiritual Living. Our theme this month is Pause for Guidance. And with one pause here, just a moment. And I'm going to lead us through our affirmation for the month. And I'm going to read it first aloud, and I'd like you all to just listen, and then we can read it all together if you would like afterwards. So, too many papers. All right. So just listen. My life is restored and renewed as I pause for divine guidance. I take time to play with and as spirit. So you'll all read it aloud with me. My life is restored and renewed as I pause for divine guidance. I take time to play with and as spirit. Thank you all. So our topic for today's talk is going to be time for a tune-up. Before we get going in our talk, though, I'd like to introduce our guest musician for today, which is Phoebe Blue.
Not just me. So it's stopping to reflect, taking time. One of the things that I do, of course, is go to the forest, go outside, natural environment. And so this song, Morning Has Broken, there's a lot of it gives you reason to kind of pay mind again to all the see around you, what you walk on. All right. Morning has broken like first morning. Blackbirds have spoken like first. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the spring, fresh from the world. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like first to fall on the first breath. Praise for the evening, praise for the morning, praise for the sweetness that you my praise with elation, praise every creation of day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the spring, fresh from the world. Praise for the spring, fresh from the world.
Phoebe always sending us flying. So now we'll go into a short meditation after the few songs. And just feel free to close your eyes when you I am nobody. I am nobody. My heart is ready to
Wherever I am, I stop and I breathe. I be still. Because it is only in the stillness that the sweet, small voice of spirit can be heard from the depths of my being. A pause, a slowing down, a letting be. A breath from the depths of my belly instead of my throat. Allowing myself to be in the moment. That's what always heals. That is what always guides. So I stop and I breathe and I listen. Grateful to know that good and only good is possible because the infinite is good. I let it be so. I let it fill me, and like a breath, I let it go. So it is. Thank you, Matt Treader. I think that's what I missed the most in the 16 months of being online, was not being able to do a little meditation before the talk Because without my muse, nothing came through me. So, so he and I are like a team. We are together. It's August. The very first day of August, August the 1st. And, and Maggie Covarrubias, happy birthday. Anyway, we've moved into, as Donu said, and thank you, Donu Green, for his debut as presider. Next week, we'll have Kathy Geeson. We're working through getting a new set of presiders so it's not just the Linda show, because that's not what this is all about. It's about all of us coming together. So I'm grateful for this new theme this month, which is pause for guidance. A time to center ourselves. Angela did a beautiful treatment this morning about getting totally centered in truth and to take in spirit. Even though spirit is within us, it's also all around us. And sometimes we get so caught up in the story we're telling ourselves, in what's going on inside of our brain, that we tell ourselves stuff that really isn't true. It may even be something we've experienced, but that doesn't mean it's who we are. And one of the things we do, one of the things I love about the Spanish language and the Latin-based language is they very rarely say, I am something. They say, I have something. Even when it comes to how old they are, I have so many years. They don't say, I am that. And here in English, I am hungry, I am tired, I am sleepy, I am, as though this is who we are. And I think that's how our brain gets confused and how we make stuff that isn't really real. Because the experience I'm having, while it may truly be the experience I am having, it is not who I am. It is not my story. Or it is my story, it's not my truth. And I want to share something today about the need for us to every now and again pause. To pause for guidance, to pause to recenter, to pause to know what really is true. And, I work on my talk all week long. I jot notes, I do things. I go in Saturday night and I kind of outline it. I come in Sunday morning and I move the paragraphs around and I get everything set and I'm done and I print it. And then on Facebook, something pops up that's just perfect for the talk. And so it was this morning. My teacher, Parker Palmer, shared, seek times of simplicity, silence, and attentiveness that allow the inner turmoil to settle and help us recover our right minds and hearts. And then he quoted a poem by Mary Oliver, whom he loves and I love, and prayed. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. I think in today's world, we run about, and we have our lists, and we've got the radio on, or the Spotify on, or the whatever, Pandora, whatever it is we're listening to, or a podcast, or whatever, and we never stop and turn it off. Every now and again, I will wake up. I live near Pioneer Parkway, and it's not that bad. It's really fairly quiet between 10 a.m. and 6 a.m. But at about 2 in the morning, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's just still. And there's something very sacred. You can almost not, the house isn't doing anything, nothing's going on. And I treasure that. I miss living in the country. You know, my grandparents lived on a farm, and every summer till I was 18, I was back there. The nearest neighbor was over a half-mile away. It was still. And I miss that idea of taking and pausing and having some silence. Today's talk in terms of slowing down and getting back to the basics is about time for a tune-up. And I heard a couple of chuckles when Donna mentioned it, but it is time for a tune-up. Each of us in our own physical, mental, and emotional bodies needs a tune-up now and again. We need to kind of recalibrate, tinker a little bit, get the mind going in the right direction, and get back to the basics of what it is that we are and what it is that we believe and what it is that we are out here trying to do. And in terms of our teaching, there's only two things in our teaching. I mean, if we can get into all kinds of nuances, and oh my God, if you're being tested to become certified in something, they can give you all kinds of details. But the bottom line is there's two things. There is one source or substance to all that is. It is the essence of everything that is, and everything therefore is sacred. Everything, because everything is God expressing. Even this virus is God expressing. Everything is God expressing. Even the parts we don't like, even the people we don't like. It's all still God expressing. And that's one piece of the treatment, of the belief that we have. The other piece of our belief is our attitude shapes our experience. If the story I tell becomes the story I live, if I say, oh, this is ugly, then everything I look at becomes ugly, because as I see, I shall find. So if I have set up a filter to look for what's ugly in my life, dear God in heaven, God will show up with amazing things that I consider ugly. It will just abide with me until I let go. It's ugly. So it's more important for me to focus on where it is I am heading, what it is I desire, rather than what it is I want to be rid of. I've told the story before about when I was an employment counselor years ago, and I would ask people, well, what's your perfect job? And they would be like, They couldn't get, they might give me one thing, or I'd this or I'd that. But if I ask them, what's the job from hell? Oh, blah, 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 you know, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. And it's like, no wonder they're still, I didn't know this teaching at the time, but no wonder they were still drawing all of that to them, because that was all that they had clarity and passion about. I want clarity and passion about waking up in the morning with joy in my heart. I want clarity and passion about doing work that matters in the world. I want clarity and passion about changing people's lives, about giving them a sense of power, their own power, so that they can move through this world in a way that is rich and fruitful and wondrous. And when I'm doing that, I don't care what my job title is. It really doesn't matter, because if I've got those things, I'm good. So that's what it is that we have to bring. There's a story about a guy walks up, and these people are, pod carriers, and they're there with the bricks, and they'll ask the first one, what are you doing? I'm stacking bricks. So he goes to the next one. He says, well, yeah, I'm building a wall. And he goes to the third one. He says, I'm building. Now, which of these guys have the best job? They were all doing the same thing. But what's the story they tell themselves? And the only person who has control over what I tell myself, it's me. Nobody else tells me. There's a line in the movie Short Circuit 1,000 years ago with the little robot that reprogrammed itself. And he finally meets up with the guy who created him. And the creator, they're sitting together talking. He says, who told you to think that? The robot looks at him and says, I told you to think that. And that's what we all have the power. If you haven't seen the movie Short Circuit in a while, I suggest see if you can find it online and watch it again. There are some amazing spiritual lessons in that. So, if our source and substance is one source and substance is all there is, and our attitude shapes our experience and becomes the story we live, then what do we do with that? That's all well and good. Okay, cool. I got it. I'm studying this and I got it. I got that. That's the truth of this, that we're all one, that everything comes from the same source, and that I can create my reality. Now what? Well, I want to share with you, it's kind of funny. See this book here? This is the Science of Mind textbook. I'm going to open it up here. This is the page where he says final conclusion. I want you to look at how many more pages are left in the book after he says final conclusion, which tells you perhaps we can grow. What the world needs is a spiritual conviction followed by spiritual experience. I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have him repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. Ouch. We study it, get it, but are we using it? At a talk one time at the Silmar, Dennis Merritt Jones said, if you were arrested and accused of being a religious scientist, would they be able to find enough evidence to convict you? Are you living it, or are you just coming here on Sunday or watching it online and saying, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, it's warm and fuzzy. It makes me feel good. But what am I doing? Angela is our practitioner today, and she's our lead practitioner now. Which means she's the one who is working with our practitioners and helping set the direction for where we're going as a teaching and what we're doing and who at 50+1, this Center for Spiritual Living Eugene is deciding to become. And we had one of our monthly meetings this last Friday over Mexican food. Mornings, which was nice. But Angela's ministry right now is so close to my heart and touches me so deeply. It's like, on the one hand, as the person who's holding her license and as her elder, I am, quote unquote, her mentor. But I want to tell you people, this woman is mentoring me more than I am mentoring her. And it's an amazing thing to watch the next gen move up and become what we are doing. And her movement is how to stop trying to fix what is and convince others they're wrong and move towards building a new world together. We talked about a lot of the things we're going to do, some gatherings where we can get together and do some dialogues and share some information, no matter whether we're new to the teaching or really experienced in the teaching. But basically, what we want is people who've done the work and say, okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do with this? How do I make this happen in my life? And I'm so excited to look at the prospect of how we can create a community which is totally and completely devoted to helping each other get stronger spiritual muscles, to helping each other tune up our spiritual skills. Because this is what we really need to be doing. Oh my God, the time is going so fast. Okay, fast forward. But this is, I want you to be, watch this space, because there's really some exciting stuff happening at the center that we're going to be, when I said we are looking at creating a new way of being a community and what that entails, this is what we're talking about. Real honest to God, get your hands dirty, get in the muck and live in the world, and let's make it better together. But if we want to grow, we must take the time for regular spiritual tune-ups. We must take the time to go back and hone our skills. When this morning was chaos. We have umpteen planets in retrograde. we've got somebody out sick, we've got people who weren't here, we've got equipment that isn't working yet. I was not being a sacred leader this morning. I was climbing the walls. I was tearing my hair out. I didn't yell at anybody, but it was just like, ah! Phoebe went and got some chamomile oil for me. But this is the thing. Just because we're in the teaching, just because we've learned it all, doesn't mean when crisis happens, we don't revert to old things. And so we are a team of people working together, calming each other, helping each other breathe, and doing what we need to do to make this work. And that's what the tune-up is all about, is stopping to remember what it is we're here to do and why we're doing it. I would like us all to just kind of do a little assessment right now. Where in my life would I like to see improvement? Where in my life are things not going precisely the way I would like them to go? Got one? Okay. Here's the big question. Am I willing to be teachable in this area? Or do I know all there is to know about it? It's just the way I just want to grouse for a while. And sometimes we just need to grouse, because sometimes we just need to hear ourselves. Sometimes we do. But if I'm truly ready to improve, I have to be willing to be teachable. I have to be willing to let go of what it is I think I know. And then am I willing to let go of the fear and judgment? Because those things are kind of, well, we're hardwired. We have what is known as the limbic brain. We talked about that a little bit last week when I read the thing from Tara Brock. We've got these limbic caretakers who are anxiety and fear, and they step up to help us, but not really. So we have to have the spiritual tune-up so that we can see that anxiety, see that fear, take a deep breath, embrace it, and learn from it, rather than try to harm us. I have a couple of quotes from Ernest Holmes in this thing called You that I want to close with, because they are really, they're pauses for guidance, and they are basically tune-up the fury. You are to find the roots of your life in pure spirit. Lose your sense of being separated from your good, and you will find that you are united with it. When I quit saying I don't have it, I discover under all the stories of not, there is. Some years ago, a minister in Canada shared this line, and it is so impactful and so powerful. The price of the life of your dreams is the life that you're living. You've got to give up one to get the other. You should let go, this is back to Dr. Holmes, you should let go of the lesser in order to experience the greater. This is not a bad bargain. If you lose a sense of unhappiness, you will become happy. If you lose a sense of confusion, you will be at peace. This is not the easiest thing to do. When you are in pain, it is difficult to affirm peace. When you are in want, it is hard to affirm abundance. But this is the true meaning of losing your body. What you lose is a full sense of being. You are trading the unreal for the real, the false for the true. If you wish to live in the kingdom of heaven, you must forget hell. Ernest actually was pretty cool. You know, some of his stuff is a little esoteric, but some of it is just like right down to earth. You know, this isn't easy, but you can do it. You got to decide if you'd rather look at what hell you're in or examine what heaven could be for you. So I ask you to consider taking this month and inserting within it pauses for guidance. Take the bit of a tune-up we've had today, God is all there is, and what I think about becomes my experience, and try to see God when I'm walking down the street. When something wants to fall out of my mouth that might not be the most loving thing I could say. Do I want this to be the story that I've created? It just takes a nanosecond to pull the reins. You know, and sometimes if we get really good writers, we can do leg reining. You know, but it's just we have to stop what we've been doing in order to get what we want, what we desire. And it sounds so simple. And on one level it is, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It requires my constant attention. It requires my constant awareness. And it requires me being gentle with myself when I mess up. It requires me not beating up on myself, just going, oh, oops, caught myself. But what I want is for all of us to love one another and to love ourselves first. And in doing that, to be careful. Slow down. And let's go together.
So it is.
I would like to call up the aforementioned lovely practitioner, Angela Alcantar, who is going to bless the offering, and then Phoebe will sing.
All right, so if you have your gift, I invite you to place it in your hand. If you do auto tithe, in the entry there used to be, I think that there still are little things just to acknowledge your auto tithe. So if you have that as well, and I invite you to place it over your heart and receive these words. It is with great joy and gratitude, with love and ease and grace, that I share this gift, knowing that as it goes out into the world, it multiplies the joy, the love, the abundance, the prosperity. So with this, I share my gift, I let it be, and so it is.
I am so grateful for all that I am so good. I am so good. I am so grateful. I am so good. I am so good. I am so good. I am so grateful. All that you I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Margaret was at the which wasn't great, but for some reason it's better than not. anyway, she stood in line and she waited and waited, and then she told me later, she said, I stood in line and I had to wait like everyone else. Don't they know who I think I am? I just thought, love that. So anyway, thought I just want to end on a happy note, and we can all walk out feeling good. So I invite you at some point in this, if you want to clap with me soon. Not quite yet. Not yet. I'll tell you what. Birds in the sky, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Ooh. And I'm feeling good. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. Dun, dun, dun. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Yeah, I know. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, they know what I mean. Sleep in peace one day, that's what I mean. And this whole world is a new world and a whole world for me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of a pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine and I know what I feel. And it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Have a good day, y'all. Thank you for helping.
For everybody who can't see, it says "Love Cover Me." It's one of Gary Lynn Floyd's beautiful songs. And I thought, when you made it into some hats, and I said, well, I don't wear hats, but I'd sure love it as a mask. And so I got it for my birthday last year. So I'm mentioning birthday because it's August, and we have birthday cake today. It's my birthday Tuesday, and so I bought cake. It's white cake with chocolate fudge and ganache frosting. It's rich, lovely. It's what my grandmother always wanted to make confetti angels. It's like, well, white cake with chocolate frosting. That's what I want. So that's what you're getting today. But anyway, I think Susan and James are setting it up so it'll be in the foyer. We'll plate trays and you can take them outside and eat where it's safe and whatever. But anyhow, thank you for your cooperation as much as you can. Because with the new stuff going on with the Delta variant, we are asking most of us, if you are comfortable wearing a mask, please, even though you've been vaccinated, wear the mask when you're in here. I don't want to be a super spreader. I don't want to add this to anybody. Okay, Kathy Day just made a quick exit because she is setting up for the Zoom hangout at 11:30. For those who, this is not for you here as much as for those who are at home, you can still connect after the service. You won't get cake, but you can talk to each other. So take care of that and say hello and discuss what we did today. The big announcement we have is please pick up the purple sheet out front, which has what's going on all week long. The men had their breakfast today. How was that? So we'll be doing that every month. And so as it gets a little safer, hopefully we'll be having more of them, but
It's not going to be safe.
so coming back to 50+1, a new beginning. We are on October 29th, finally celebrating the anniversary of the center. Thank you. Get their attention for me, Matt. Thank you. And please step up online and get yourself registered. It's $50 for dinner, live entertainment with Matt, Noel, and Haley, and a guest speaker and a door prize. So it'll be fun. And then from that, we're going to go have Angela come up and do an announcement for the practitioners, and then we're going to sing the peace song. I love all of y'all.
Been a while since I've done this part. So what we have done in the past is we are the practitioners who are here today. We are available for a miracle minute. So what that means is if you have something on your heart or your mind that you would like to receive an affirmative prayer for, I will be up here on the stage, and other practitioners as they're available will be at the windows. And in just a moment, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. There are a couple other ways that you can connect with us. All of our information is online. The website has been redesigned, so please check that out. Get to know our practitioners. You can request a practitioner session or a prayer online as well. Yet another way to receive prayer is in the entryway. Do we have the prayer request form? So in the entryway, you could write out a prayer request. So there are many ways to reach us here in the center, at home, out and about. A lot of it, again, can be accessed on our website. And I think with that, we'll introduce the practitioners that are here today. So as you have heard, I'm Angela Alkenkart. And how about we start here?
I'm Chambers, Reverend First, and Brady Gaines.
Thanks. And as a reminder, we're here both when you lose track of the truth for yourself, but also if you want celebrating or visioning a new experience for yourself, we're also here for that as well. I don't think I forgot anything. Okay, we're good. So our closing song, please. I invite you all to stand. I let go. I let go. And it's good. And so